Hey guys, welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, we're building this palindrome checker. So a palindrome is a word or phrase that reads the same backwards as forwards. Example, level, refer. So if I enter a word like AAA and check palindrome, yes, it's a palindrome. And if I add dev lab, check palindrome, no, it's not a palindrome. And if I add another one, level, check palindrome, yes, it's a palindrome. So it's a simple project that you can enjoy building. So let's get started. So I'm on my VS Code and I've created the three files we need: index.html, script.js, and style.css. So let's go to the index.html and create our boilerplate. Let's call this palindrome checker, and let's link the CSS and also the JavaScript. Okay, the setup is done. Now let's create our structure of our app. Let's create a div with a class of wrapper. Inside this, let's create a title, palindrome checker, and a description. I can just copy from the source code and let's put this to inside a header tag. Okay, then paste it inside. Okay, now let's create another div with a class of inputs, and inside this let's create an input, type text, spell check to false, and placeholder to enter a text or number. And let's create a button, check palindrome. Alright, after this div, let's create a p tag with the info.text or txt. This is where we'll show the word or number which is a palindrome or not. And I think it's done. Let's save it and open with live server. Make sure you have the live server extension installed on your VS Code. Okay, it looks bad. Now let's style this. I can just put it like this. Okay, now let's go to our style.css. Let's get the fonts from Google Fonts. We will use Poppins. This is a very popular font. Click on get font, get embed code, and import. Let's copy and paste it. Remove the style tag, we don't need it. Okay, now let's select everything and give it a margin 0, padding 0, box sizing of border box, and font family to Poppins, sans serif. Let's see, yes, it's working, nice. Now let's select the body and give it a background color, hashtag F72585. This pinkish color, you can choose any color you want. Padding 0, 10 pixels. Display to flex, line item center, justify content center, and give it a minimum height of 100 feet so that everything centers like this. Now let's select the selection give it a color of FFF and a background of RGB. 170 for the red, green 87, and blue 204. Let's go to RGBA, the alpha value 0.8, and make it background. Alright, now let's select this wrapper and give it a background color and style it. Max width of 500 pixels, background FFF, and border radius 7 pixels, padding 20 pixels to the top, 25 pixels to the bottom, and 15 pixels left and right. Give it a box shadow as well, 15 pixels, 40 pixels, RGBA 0.12. Okay, perfect. Now select this. Let's style this header h1, font size 32 pixels, and font weight to 700. Text align center to center this, and give it a margin top and bottom 2 rem and 0 on the left and right. Okay, nice. Let's select this inputs and style them. Inputs dot inputs, margin 20 pixels top, 0 on the bottom, 27 pixels on the left and right. Okay, now let's select inputs. Input, give it a width of 100%, height 60 pixels, and padding to 17 pixels, and font size of 19 pixels. Perfect. Now let's go to border radius of 5 pixels, border 1 pixel solid, hashtag 999, and the transition 0.1 second ease. Okay, nice. Now let's change the placeholder color. Inputs, input placeholder color 999, and when it's in the focus, let's also give it a box shadow. Dot inputs, input focus, box shadow of 3 pixels, 6 pixels, RGBA 0.13. Okay, as you can see, nice. And when it's in focus, we also change the placeholder text color to BE. It's grayed out. So now let's style this button here. Input button width 100%, height 56 pixels, border to none, and opacity to 0.7, outline none as well, color to white, cursor pointer, and give it a background same pink color as the main background, and font size to to 17 pixels. Give it a margin top 20 pixels, and border radius to 5 pixels, pointer events to none, and transition opacity 0.15 seconds is okay. It's looking nice, and when it's active we will change its opacity to 1. So inputs button active opacity to 1, and pointer and auto. Okay, let's design the info text below. Info-txt opacity none, font size 19 pixels, text align center, and margin bottom 18 pixels. Let's select the info text span. Let's change the color of it to hashtag this pink color, so the word will be this color. And I think everything is done. Let's remove this outline here. So here we can say outline none. Perfect. Also let's style this. So after the header h1, let's select the header p, give it a margin top 20 pixels, font size 18 pixels, and color to 474747. Nice. Okay, we can reduce the margin 10 pixels. Okay, now let's create the functionality using JavaScript. Before that we need to check the fluidity so we can adjust things a bit. So let's select media screen and max width 520 pixels, a wrapper padding to 17 pixels, 20 pixels, and 10 pixels. Header h1, let's reduce the font size 25 pixels. Header p, font size to 16 pixels, and input, let's reduce the height to 54 pixels and font size to 17 pixels. Okay, let's see. Yeah, perfect. Let's style this button. Input button height 50 pixels, font size 16 pixels, and margin desktop 17 pixels. Let's select the info txt and font size 18 pixels. Okay, perfect. Now let's work on the JavaScript. Go to script.js. First let's select everything we need. Const text input document.query selector input dot inputs comma here and check button document dot query selector dot input button, and the final one is info text document dot query selector info-txt. Okay, let's create a variable of filter input small letter. Okay, let's the check button create an add event listener. We'll listen for a click, and when that happens, let's create an arrow function here. Let reverse input is equals to filter input dot split dot reverse dot join. So what this will do is take the filtered input and split it into words, characters I mean, and reverse it and then join them. So if I type, let's say, this word, it will separate them character by character and reverse it. Alright, and then join it. So let's create the info text dot style dot display is equals to block, and if the filter input is not equals to is not equals to reverse input, then we can say return info text dot inner html equals to no. Let's create a span here. Let's select the text input dot value is not a palindrome, and else it's a palindrome. So we'll say for text dot inner html is equals to, let's copy this. So here we can say yes, the word is a palindrome. Okay, let's see if it works. Oh, okay, now let's select the text from here, and we will use the text input dot add event listener key up. So the filter input is equals to txt input dot value dot to lower case dot replace method, and we will use this syntax, this one, and if the filter input is true, then return check button dot class list dot add active, and else we're going to say info text dot style dot display is equals to none, and remove the class link dot add, remove the active class from the check button. Okay, it's done. Let's check it out. So check. So we're getting an error, cannot read properties of null. So what think this is info text. Okay, we need to put a dot here. Let's check it again. Level. Yes, level is palindrome. Let's type something gibberish. Yes, it's not a palindrome. Let's try number 212. Yes, 212 is a palindrome, and let's try something like this. So this is not a palindrome. All right, our small project is done. Hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. That will help me a lot. Thank you. Have a nice day.